This is found on page 18, paragraph capital D, under the Article 6, miscellaneous, under the heading of guarantee and correction of work after final payment. Neither the final certificate nor payment nor any provisions in the contract documents shall relieve the contractor of responsibility for faulty materials or workmanship unless otherwise specified. He shall remedy any defects due thereto and pay for any damage to other work resulting therefrom, which shall appear within a period of 1 year from the date of final acceptance of the work by the owner. The owner shall give notice of the observed defects with reasonable promptness. All questions arising under this article shall be decided by the engineer subject to arbitration. Arbitration shall be conducted by one arbitrator in accordance with the most recent commercial arbitration rules of the American Arbitration Association. The arbitration shall be commenced by the aggrieved party filing with either the American Arbitration Association or with an independent arbitrator upon whom the parties agree in writing and serving the opposing party their claims in arbitration. And you go forward from there. But that is the triggering language for the arbitration clause. And that's the reason why I suggested to you that in reading it, I was not entirely sure that we would be able to avail ourselves of that clause at this time. I'm certain that the parties can agree among themselves to waive certain requirements of the contract. It would have to be done in writing because the contract provides that you can't waive any of the terms of the contract unless it is in writing. But you could do a memorandum, and we could, by agreement, submit this matter to binding arbitration if that was the will of the Board of Aldermen.
Hale, what would be the pros and cons for the town of Farragut going to this arbitration route, assuming anything was waived or whatever, especially with the comment you made earlier tonight about precedent setting?
Well, there's no, the arbitration clause does one thing, I think, and one thing only. It makes your forum for dispute resolution an arbitrator as opposed to a court. I mean, all of the things that go along with a lawsuit would go along with the arbitration. And I think what, at least as I hear what is happening this evening, is the contractor is coming requesting for some relief in hopes that we can avoid going through that process. I find that arbitration is no less expensive than litigating in Knox County Chancery Court. Frankly, it's about one and the same. So it's just a lawsuit in a different form. That's about the difference as I see it. And I don't know that there's any. I haven't been involved in this until just very recently, so I haven't looked at the contract with the idea in mind that there may be provisions in it that deal with acceptable delays. But my sense of this is that were there any acceptable delays, they have been taken into account. As you may have heard somebody say at some point in this discussion, when the mulch was on order and the mulch was not available, the town made a proposal to stop the liquidated damages to cover the period of the delay while the mulch was on order and not here. I don't know, that was 15 days or some such as that. So, you know, there may be some items there, but I think even taking into account all of those acceptable delays, I guess the motion that was made for till November the 19th would have been a little less than what those acceptable delays would have been. And I think it's the staff's position that the 71 days is strictly what the contract would provide for.
Well, the staff is
No.
more or less obligated to follow the letter of the contract and not really enter into judgment. And that's why we're here, I guess, because ultimately it will come here. Somebody's going to have to make some kind of decision, say this is how we're going to interpret this contract, and this is what we're going to pay you in final payment, or you know what we're going to deduct from it in terms of liquidated damages. And if that is not agreeable to the parties, then we go to arbitration or litigation or whatever. Well, in this case, it would be arbitration because litigation is not stipulated in the contract.
I think Mr. Smith's getting ready to correct me.
Oh.
Staff's position is
Staff's position,
that it's not finished yet. and
it's
that,
not complete yet. And, you know, a strict reading of the contract, complete is complete.
But I haven't been consulted about that
Right, I
position.
understand. The 71 days that staff has recommended is a concession as far as we're concerned. And, you know, if you wanted to go further with the 15 days, that has been offered. And that's, I just throw that out there.
I think just as a layperson, you know, I'm not a lawyer, not a developer, contractor, I don't build, but I mean, it's like when you hear the word complete, you're assuming complete. And when I hear these delays, as Alderman Williams laid out, that concerns me greatly. And I think what we heard tonight about the insulation issue, you know, that's further concern. But I think as I recall, and here it is listed at 56,000 was the a recommended figure coming off the 71, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yes, sir, that would take into account the 15 days that they were waiting on materials and things like that with the mulch and the playground equipment. And
Given what we heard tonight with the lack of insulation in the restroom, is the town staff still supportive of that 56,000 figure?
sir, I think we would be. Yes, sir. I think obviously that's just an item that we need to talk about and hopefully get resolved with the contractor.
I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Wait. So you have a motion,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
and we had a second that was withdrawn, and another motion made. Does anybody want to withdraw some motions?
I'll withdraw the arbitration motion at this point to give the board an opportunity to resolve this here. And
All right, we have a motion, and can you repeat your motion?
Yeah, my motion is that the modified completion date was October 12th. The T-deck inspection finally took place on November 19th. I believe a good faith effort was made to rectify matters after that point, recognizing that the project is not complete in the true sense of the word. And I propose limiting liquidated damages to I believe it's a 38-day period between October 12th and November 19th.
Now, is there a second? All right, that motion dies for the lack of a second. Any other discussions or motions?
I'll make a motion that we go with the staff recommendation of the $56,000 figure.
Second to that?
Second.
Are we ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Okay. Next item is fiscal 2011 mid-year committee appointments.
Yes, sir. Tonight we have two committees that have had citizens apply for those committees. The first one is the Board of Zoning Appeals. We have Keith Alley, who has applied, and Henry, I'm just going to go on a limb here, Schetzler. Not really sure. But anyway, Henry, or also called Hess, his application is one I emailed to you earlier in the week, and a copy was at your places tonight. And for the schools committee, we have one position available, and we have one applicant, and that is Nancy Wentz.
Let's see. So we had a total of 3 applicants.
Yes, sir, we have 2 that have applied for one position on BZA, and then we have 1 that's applied for one position on the school liaison committee.
Are there openings on the school liaison, or how many openings might there be?
On the school liaison committee, there's one position available.
One position, okay, thank you.
We have one fellow applying for the Board of Zoning Appeals or the Stormwater Advisory Committee. I guess I'm wondering, does he have the skill that we need for the Stormwater Advisory Committee?
We don't have a position on the Stormwater Advisory Committee available at this time.
Don't?
No, sir.
No, sir, you have two applicants tonight for the BZA, and we'll need to make one appointment for that position. And then for the schools liaison committee, we have one applicant for the one open position.
Go with the school one first. I move that we appoint Nancy Wentz to the school committee.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? So now the BZA.
Mr. Alley came before us a short time ago seeking appointment, I believe, and we opted not to appoint him to a committee at that time, but certainly invited him to reapply for another opening if he's so chosen, and it appears he is so chosen. So I would support Mr. Alley's appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Alley for the Board of Zoning Appeals. That brings us to the town administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things tonight. One is we had I think, a very well-attended citizens summit on Monday night this past week, and getting our strategic plan finalized for the town of Farragut. And actually, next Friday and Saturday, February 18th and 19th, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen will be finalizing that plan over a 2-day period, and we'll be at Fox Den. So with that, that's all I have tonight. You would know better than me, Mayor.
Did you say finalizing?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Associate Town Administrator's report.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Engineer's report.
I have nothing either.
Recorder's report.
I have 3 invoices for you tonight. The first one's for the Farragut Intermediate School for $10,000, Sherrod Incorporated for $17,341.30, and Wilbur Smith for $10,570.76.
Middle school request. Why is that by itself?
This is the intermediate school. They're the only ones that have sent in the request to be paid for their grant so far.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they have all been notified that they
Okay.
actually need to send us something requesting that.
All right.
That's correct. April 1st is the deadline for anybody that wants to apply for a grant for next fiscal year, but this is actually requesting the money that they received for this fiscal year.
And if they don't request that money before the fiscal year ends, poof.
Up to you.
Technically, yes, but again, it's up to the board.
Harold Cash.
Got a raise for the mayor and alderman.
That's right.
10% will do. Where were we? Attorney's report.
But you have to vote on
Oh, we
that.
have to
I
vote
guess we
on
should pay
this.
the bills first.
I move we pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. And the attorney's report.
And no report tonight.
Thank you.
You're the man.
We already had it.